I had one of the happiest childhoods until I was 7. That's when my father contracted cerebral malaria, a form of malarial infection that affects the brain. After having a high fever for about a week, he developed depression. All this while, our family was staying in a really small town in India, and we had no idea what was going on with my father. Yes, we did not understand depression then, and how it was going to change our lives. Today, I want to share with you what I have learned about depression through my father's journey and my work in studies. My father seemingly recovered. He looked hale and healthy, but on most days, he had a tough time getting out of bed and going to work. My kind and loving father stopped smiling entirely. Daily chores, including bathing and eating, became a struggle. Our family, that had exactly one breadwinner, spiraled into financial troubles. But what I remember feeling then is not so much the financial impact, but the debilitating emotional impact it had on our family. People around us, although well-intentioned, made things worse. Family and friends visited home and gave my mother unsolicited advice. Take him to this priest. Get him a ring with that gemstone. Many even said that my father looked just fine and might be faking being unwell. That enraged me, a then teenager. I spent my teenage years grappling to understand what was going on with my father and why his personality had completely changed. I wanted to do everything a teenager could to make things better. I started with making cutouts of newspaper articles on mental health and saving them neatly into my file. Article by article, my interest grew. Eventually, inspired by my father's journey, I got a PhD in neuroscience. I spent years in a lab doing experiments to understand the origins of anxiety and depression. Later, I worked with many organizations to make people aware of depression's existence. Going by WHO projections, 1 in 4 individuals listening to this talk are going to be impacted by at least one episode of depression in their lifetime. Depression is everywhere, and depression is not a choice. What might be the reasons behind depression? Scientists report it could be genetic vulnerability or environmental stresses, or a combination of both. Having a financial distress, a chronic illness due to another disease, sexual dysfunction, obesity, a past traumatic life incident. Triggers for depression can go on and on. Depression is correlated with having a variety of chemical imbalances in our brains. About 70% of patients treated for depression start showing improvement in their symptoms within 4 to 6 weeks of starting treatment. This number stands to attest that depression is treatable. But unlike the patients of cardiac disorders, 60 to 80% patients of depression never receive proper treatment. Why? Foremost, because of the stigma our society tags with having a mental health disorder. People with depression, they are not seen in the same light as people with having a cardiac disorder. As society, we have accepted that a heart attack could be fatal, so we seek quickest medical support to address it. Unfortunately, we do not look at depression in the same manner. Untreated depression is one of the leading causes of suicides across the world, and yet we do not encourage quickest treatment or indeed any treatment for it. We can only create change if we make people feel comfortable, if we let them say, yes, I need support. My father had a rare process of developing depression through cerebral malaria. He had to be on a lifelong medication. For most individuals, depression is not instant. there is often a long trajectory to it. And in that window lies your power to support that individual. So, when do you know that the person needs support? What can you do to help the person? I'm going to share a 3-step approach. First, understand the symptoms of depression. Depression is a health condition. It is not a personal choice. It does include many symptoms, as my father's illness did. Loss of appetite or overeating, difficulty sleeping or sleeping a lot, feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, and sadness, lack of energy and fatigue, loss of desire to engage in activities that the person previously enjoyed, and last, having suicidal thoughts. Look for these symptoms. Step 2, offer support and encouragement, knowing that it could be a long journey. Denying the problem is not going to make it go away. Your loved one is not lazy or unmotivated. When a person is going through depression, telling them to get on with life and just cheer up is not going to take the problem away. Have patience and kindness towards your loved one as you encourage them to seek help from mental health care professionals. Recognize that taking care of a person going through depression is not an easy task, so be gentle on yourself. As much as you may want, you cannot rescue them from their depression. You cannot fix the problem for them. Step 3. Do what you can as a next generation leader. If you're in a place where you can change the way workplaces support mental health, I encourage you to take action towards it. Estimates suggest that major depression alone has been costing employers $50 billion per year in lost productivity. Now, these numbers were projected when we did not see current pandemic coming at us. Under the visible pandemic, there is an epidemic of depression that has been flaring up. I will continue to push boundaries in the way mental health care is supported and perceived. I'm not asking you to devote your lifetime towards it, as I have. But I do want to invite you to join me in normalizing the conversation around mental health. Join me in saving those lives before it's too late. Stand up for a quarter of the world's population here. And in case you're wondering about my father, this is my father from last year when he visited me. He was and continues to be a wonderful person and an inspiration for me. He leads a happy, healthy life with the help of medication. If it happened to you or a loved one, I want you to know it does not have to be a permanent state. Depression is treatable, provided we get access to the right resources.